This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs on the Hogstein Network.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 4, Episode 16, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington on all social media and YouTube. I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Hogstein Network on audio and YouTube channel on video. Well, Matt, not much really happening going into the 4th of July weekend, I guess. The NFL just decided to end a couple of matters, and its year-long investigation of the team's alleged sexual misconduct. And as expected, Dan Snyder was sanctioned. The team was fined $10 million, and it was told to do these 10 things, which are basically anything every corporation does about sensitivity training, sexual harassment, don't touch people, stuff like that. Those kind of get your HR department better and such. Okay, that's all normal stuff. But Tanya Snyder is suddenly the new co-CEO, and Dan Snyder has been told to go work on your stadium project for an indeterminate amount of time. Adele will say when it's over. So is it a suspension? Not technically, but
Right.
You're not up around. Tanya's got the daily responsibilities in the league matters now. So it kind of is.
Yeah.
Some PR types they get paid lots of money to change words.
Yeah.
So I have to say, in the end, I thought he was going to get a big fine. I didn't really think they'd make him go away for a while. Other than that, it pretty much went down as I expected.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the disappointment amongst the fans is that there was hope that, it would be a Donald Sterling or Jerry Richardson situation where it was such an egregious thing that he would be removed. Well, I mean, technically he is removed. And, by all accounts from what we heard, Tanya is actually a great person compared to her husband. I know she, along with like D'Angelo Williams of the Panthers at the time, I think they helped create the October Awareness Month for breast cancer and got the league to approve the wearing of the pink cleats and armbands and stuff like that. So by all means, and by all things that I've read about Tanya, she's very well liked. So Rick, it's just another one of these moves to kind of re-image the team. I mean, amongst the name and the logo group that were offended by that. And then, obviously with I'll say rumors, because they've never really been confirmed. There was no report that came out about this, but, the mistreatment of female employees and the cheerleaders and stuff like that at the offices. So I think it's just another attempt to remake the image of the old Washington Redskins as they move forward into this branding and this new team that they're building.
Yeah, as I said on my own videos, Rick Snyder's Washington, in the end, Dan Snyder haters got to be hating this, because in the end of all this whole year of drama, the fine is nothing in NFL standards. He got to consolidate his power with his minority owners. He ended up firing everybody involved, and he actually hired some really good people who now on track. So after serving, whatever time he has to, he's coming back to a better organization than he had. So Dan Snyder wins, in my opinion.
I mean, realistically, look at what this has done. Like you talked about, they hired someone like Julie Donaldson. They've hired Jason Wright. They have Rivera and crew as far as the football ops, but on the actual running of the team and the franchise, that office has been completely gutted and rebuilt, and there's a lot of positives that have been put in place over there.
Yeah, so I think in the end, this team gets to move forward, and there were a lot of misdoings in this building. I was around it enough to know that things weren't right, and there was too much of a frat boy ideas there, and you had Bruce Allen promoting that kind of thing too, and so you've gotten rid of all that. So maybe it really will be a nice organization that people could be proud of instead of nonsense that goes on.
Yeah, but as we talked about before we started recording, I mean, look, it's the Mad Men syndrome. I mean, back in the 50s and 60s, the boys will be boys mentalities. A lot of that is changing in corporate America now. And like you talked about with the sensitivity trainings and your HRs and all that stuff. I mean, it's just, these are moves that needed to be made, and yeah, Bruce wanted to be one of the boys. Bruce was a glommer on, he wanted to be, one of the football players, but he wasn't, it's just, they've got a lot of the black eyes on this organization out, and they're bringing in a lot of positives. And like I said, it's necessary to do all this because you are in the middle of a rebrand. You're in the middle. You're hopefully by the end of the year going to be revealing your new team name and logo, and you want people to be attracted to that. And it starts at the top. And look, I'll say it. Dan going to work on the stadium, that's perfect, man. Stay away. Let Ron and company run the football. Let Jason run the office. We got it.
Yeah, for Tanya Snyder, she becomes the third woman to run a team in the league. And at one point, I saw a poll that said 47% of football fans are women, which surprised me a little bit. Mm-hmm. But this is the third generation of Title IX, and the young women today especially have mothers and even some grandmothers who have been involved in sports. That's a kind of coming through a whole thing.
Well, look at all the recent merchandise that's aimed towards women. You had, I think, was it like Jessica Alba has a line on Fanatics, and you got Wear by Aaron Andrews. These are all sports team apparel aimed at women, and the breast cancer awareness stuff, that stuff was aimed towards women. I mean, they want it. It doesn't surprise me that there's 40% of women are football fans. I mean, it's a worldwide sport, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully this will bring more attention to the Washington franchise, and instead of being a laughing stock and the butt of the joke on ESPN, maybe men, women, children, I don't know. It's a positive thing for me. I like I said, I've never heard anything bad about Tanya.
Yeah, I can't say that. I had a handful of interactions with her, none in a while. I was there the time they did the presser to create the Think Pink, and it started with Washington and then grew. But I was there the first day. And they had it like an hour before a game, which is a terrible time to do a press conference. But they knew they could bring us all down from the press box and fill the room. Mm-hmm. And so her speak, she seems like a smart person. Mm-hmm. All this, so she has a staff. When you're the boss of something, you try to rely on really good people in your staff, so that if you have the answer, they do. So I'm sure she'll be fine on whatever matters she needs help with.
Yeah, the only choice I would question her on is marrying Dan Snyder, but that's a personal issue, I guess.
Yeah, well, I've always laughed. She was Miss Atlanta at one time, but I married the prettiest Mrs. Snyder in town. So
spelled differently.
Yeah. Well, my wife doesn't watch this podcast.
I know.
So
plus, hold on. She wasn't a Snyder before you married her.
Yeah.
So your joke doesn't really work, but I'll laugh at it anyway for you.
So pretty much now Dan Snyder's going to be wandering the earth looking at stadiums for a little while, which, hey, you need to do that anyway. If your stadium's going to be opening in 2027, you really need to break ground by 2024, which means you need to start your permitting in 23. Mm-hmm. And so you've got basically 2 years to get a deal done with whomever.
Yeah.
I don't see DC as a player. I don't see, Virginia's getting a new governor who I know when we go down to training camp, first day is going to be there and talk about they'd love to have the team in Virginia. Okay, I don't know where you're going to put it. You're not going to put it in Prince William, and you're not going to put it in Loudon would be a bad idea. But okay, you can talk the talk. And really it still comes down to Maryland. And I know Dan has talked to all three localities in the past year about things, but they've never gotten serious. And now it's the time to say, put best and final offers on the table and let's try and figure this out. Because it's going to take a while, no matter what. Look at Cook. He wandered the earth forever. Yeah. I think this fourth or fifth location, over that story for years. So he's got to get going on it. And he's going to go to Europe and look at their stadiums, kind of things like that. And
I'd heard he went to like the new Raiders stadium. He went to the new Rams stadium. He's been obviously to Cowboys stadium. He's gone to Atlanta. Like he's scouting all the newer stadiums to try and pluck ideas from, which is what you got to do. Because look, I mean, when FedEx was built, well, I'm sorry, when Jack Kent Cooke Stadium was built, it was already behind the eight ball because it was just such a rush job. this is a stadium that, you know, wherever they end up putting it, you have to bring attractions to, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they always talk about, oh, well, with the Cowboy Stadium, it's the 100-foot screen. And, you know, oh, I know the new Raider Stadium has like 2 torches in the end zone. Like, there's all these little attractive touches that they need to add. You know, that's where I think we need to go back to the moat, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, it takes time. You have to plan out, because when Cook Stadium was being built, the Squire basically they also had Baltimore building their stadium for the Ravens. And they had what's now Cap One Arena being built for them, all at the same time. So Jack and Cook came up with the idea that he cornered all the cement in the Mid-Atlantic area. And that way Ravens and Cap Center, whatever, they had to buy outside the area and increase their costs tremendously. He did it out of spite just to screw them. So that's the stuff that goes on. You never know what's going to happen. Hey, let's hope there's not another pandemic or something coming, but, you know, they can slow things down tremendously. So I don't know. There's a lot going on in it. He needs to get into that. I'm sure that's what he's going to do now. Put his energy into that. Well, will he never talk daily operations with Tanya? I don't know, man. When you're sleeping in the said bed with somebody, you're married to them, you never say anything to each other.
Yeah.
I kind of find that hard to believe, but, you know, whatever. All right. So before we get out of here, the 4th of July is coming on Sunday. It's supposed to be a nice day.
Yes.
I'm still not going downtown for the fireworks, but
no.
So what's on your grill?
I tell you what I like during 4th of July is, I believe it's Johnsonville makes a firecracker brat. Oh my God. You put that on a bun with a little bit of mustard. That I love those firecracker brats. They're amazing.
Have you ever seen the Johnsonville grills that are like tractor trailers?
Yes.
They're like, oh, those things are tremendous.
Yeah, it's kind of like that thing. I know they did an episode up in that town that was destroyed by flooding up in Maryland. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, Ellicott City.
Yeah, Ellicott City. That's it. I know. Like when Gordon Ramsay came in there to redo all the restaurants and stuff, like he has a tractor trailer just like this, where it opens up and it's a damn full kitchen and all this craziness in it. So yeah, trust me, if I had about $300,000, I'd own one.
Well, normally I'll go for a hamburger over a hot dog, but I'll just say to people, all hot dogs are not made the same. When you're buying these, bump up a little, like Johnsonville. They have great stuff, you know, interesting or new. I hadn't seen the firecracker one. Maybe I'll see if they have any around.
They're good. It's just a little bit of spice to them. It would look, like I said, all it needs is a little mustard, maybe some grilled onions on it. It's delicious. Just
remember, you need ketchup too.
No.
Yes, and yellow mustard. No other goofy mustard, but ketchup is always okay.
You have the palate of a 5-year-old. Come on now.
I like ketchup.
Ketchup goes on French fries and cheeseburgers.
And hot dogs.
No.
Well, we got to get out of here. Have a good 4th, everybody. We'll see you again soon. I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt. Don't put ketchup on your hot dog.
Always. See you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent on the Hogstye Network.